there is some really strong push versus pull energy right now, old versus new, innovation versus tradition, breaking free versus taking responsibility. We have Sun and Mars in Scorpio opposite Uranus and Taurus, and we have Mercury, who just moved into Sagittarius, squaring Saturn, and that creates this like structural, traditional heaviness versus this, I just want to break free and like take the key to like pull myself out of the cage that I'm in. I just want to untrap myself. And it's complex in a lot of ways, because this energy isn't going to come with rainbows and sunshine. It's going to come with tension, maybe a slice of suffering, maybe a little bit of knock on your door, like, hello, it's time, maybe some karmic moments because Saturn's involved. So right now, one of the things you can do is just breathe. just breathe, because the energy of feeling really trapped and wanting to break free is there, right? And you might want to just like run away and just freak out, and it's like a very electrical energy, and the other energy of like pulling and just like, or hitting like a really strong brick wall is there too. So when you have both of these energies, it can drive you absolutely crazy. So if you're feeling that, breathe. I promise it's temporary. There are some master invitations with this energy. First, Saturn square Mercury says, what are the hard conversations you need to have? What are the things you need to do in your mind to create a boundary for yourself? So that could be, are you being delusional? Are you in too much of a dream state where you over romanticizing something? Are you being delusional in how you're thinking about this? Like, it's not just going to happen because you wished it, right? It's not just going to happen because you said you want to manifest it. You actually have to take action steps with this. What are those things that you need to do in order to create the foundational structure for the thing that you want in your life, right? It's part spiritual practice and being in the right energy field, but it's also the universe wants action towards whatever it is that you're trying to build. So show up. Saturn is very alive in the collective. He has been for a long time. Show up in one way. With Saturn energy, it can feel very heavy, can feel like, I just can't, I just give up. And what he says is, no. Where do you need to be in devotion to yourself for those things that you need to do? And I feel like a broken record because I say this all the time, but Saturn is such a big part of my lesson here on Earth. And for me, he's all about boundaries. Like, where do I need to say no? Especially in relationships, right? Like, where am I overextending myself to create harmony within myself when it's not actually creating any harmony? It's actually doing the opposite. Where do I just need to show up and say no? It could be that for you, right? If you're overdoing it or people pleasing, especially with Venus and Libra. It could be, maybe you need to show up and look at your finances. Maybe you need to move your body and get back to the practices, the foundational practices and tools that you have in your tool belt in order to create a sense of wellness in your body. Wherever it is, it's always going to show up different for different people. So Mercury in Sagittarius, he just moved from Scorpio. So there's a little bit of lightness with this, but because of the square, it doesn't start out so light. So that means like Mercury is like the way that we think and communicate. And Sagittarius thinks really big picture, bird's eye view, high perspective. So here's another invitation. How can you look at your current situation from a different perspective? How can you literally in your mind, like go to a different vantage point, right? And be like, okay, well, this could be happening because of this. And if I can see it from this perspective, or if I could see it from a very spiritual perspective, like this person's coming into my life to push me and be a catalyst, I thank you. Thank you for that, even if it sucks, right? Thank you. Like these people that come into our lives, and we're often them for others too, right? Like these people that come into our lives are often catalysts for us to like push us. And we needed that. We needed that moment. We needed to suffer a little bit because we're humans and we're silly, and that's like part of the deal here. But Mercury in Sagittarius is very much a big visionary energy. And a lot of astrologers will say like Mercury doesn't like to be there. And I'm not interested in that language because I just don't feel that way about the planets. Like they work how they work in every archetype. And so Mercury in Sagittarius is very much like asking big questions. Why are we here? What does it mean? What's the big picture perspective? What kind of experiences can I have to form my beliefs? So if your beliefs are a little delusional right now, right? Or if you're actually needing to show up and do the Saturn work in order to be in that big picture belief, maybe that's something that you're facing. The thing with the Uranian energy at the same time, and this was really strong in 2021, 2022, this like push versus pull, the Uranus versus Saturn energy, we were in a square. And so this echoes a little bit of that feeling. So if you're feeling that way, that also might be why. But Uranus brings this electrical vibe energy, like move. Oh, I will lightning bolt you. I will tornado you into change, because you know you need to, because it's your authentic truth, even if it sucks at the time. And, you know, the planets are us and we are them. So like we are Uranus, Uranus is us, just a piece of us, right? Like Saturn is us. So like calling them outside of ourselves, or like the universe is testing us, it doesn't really work like that. It's actually that we're inviting these invitations and it's up to us to take them, because ultimately Uranus wants us to break free and become more authentic in our truth. And so Sun, Mars in Scorpio goes really, really, really deep. So you might be facing a lot of your shadows and these pieces and parts of you that have fragmented off. You might be facing some darker parts of your soul. That's the invitation with Scorpio. You're supposed to, again, these are parts and pieces of us. And Uranus in the opposite position in Taurus is saying, well, how do you create safety knowing all these things? How do you break free? And part of that might be just to change your perspective, to just say, hello, thank you, I needed that. I needed that to be a catalyst for me. It's also like creating this sense of unsettled energy within us that makes us want to run away or like freak out. It's like a buildup of electrical energy. And so that can also bring this sense of like unstableness, and we're just looking for grounding. We're looking to feel safe, but like all these things are happening in our lives and it feels like we just want to run away, but we can't. Like running away doesn't work, because you will just attract it again, because you are a soul with a contract that decided to work on XYZ. So you'll continue to attract it for yourself. So with this energy, I would say that because there's this buildup of Uranian energy and there is this new moon on Monday, which I'll go into that later, you're going to want to ground as much as possible. You're going to want to protect your field as much as possible. Maybe you need to rest. Maybe you need to eat nourishing food. I've been drinking electrolyte water like a crazy person. I've been using my Healy, which is charging right now. That thing is a godsend for me to help me get into my body and balance my energies out, because it's a wild roller coaster ride right now. And there's so many other things I could say, but I really want to focus on you knowing that this is temporary and that this push versus pull, what is actually happening here is that an old version of yourself is being asked to fall away and a new version is here. Change is here. However, you can't avoid or be in delusion about the things that you actually need to do structurally to create sustainable change for yourself. So one thing I've been doing in my own life is I've been showing up every day on my yoga mat, just moving my body. I've been taking certain supplements and nourishing things that I need to like cool my body down and to give myself and fuel myself with energy. I've been trying to get more rest. I have been allowing myself to cry when I need to cry or freak out when I need to freak out without judging myself, because we're moving through such deep ancestral stuff right now, like past life stuff, like just such big stuff. So allowing yourself and non-attachment to what is, knowing it's going to change and move, is like a really big deal. And I've been trying my best, I'm not perfect at this, into trying to change my perspective on how I'm looking at things and saying like, this is happening for me. This isn't happening to me. You know, like this is an invitation. I'm going to get what I need out of this. Maybe it's not what I want, but it's going to be what I need. And I'm inviting this in. It's my responsibility. So everywhere I can, as painful and sucks as it may be, I'm trying to turn it within. Sending all of you love, sending all of you grounding, sending you all wellness. And I hope this video is helpful in any way, shape, or form.